Hello everyone. This Escanor is my prized possession. At least I thought it was. But it will never go into my favorite units. Probably because I spent 1.5k rerolls. I started at 2.6k rerolls. And I ended at 1.1k. So I'm definitely biased. A regular Escanor is more than enough. And I had a solar Escanor. I don't know what possessed me to get Monarch Escanor, but solar Escanor is actually great. The range is incredible. I'm gonna prove my point now. On to the first. Look at my solar Escanor. Now with his ability, 293k is perfect. Perfect for any 15 to 20 wave match. Now look at Monarch Escanor, almost doing as much as ultimate solar Escanor, off placement. And he does 500,000. He does over 1 million with ultimate. Number 1 unit should be doing that much damage. It's unnecessary. Let's show you. In Desert Legends Stage Act 1, see here. These 3 guys, with 200 health, are fully countering Monarch Escanor. Monarch is again, unnecessary. You might be thinking, I won't use Escanor against shields anyway. I would argue and say it is waste of Monarch then. Not fully a waste, but with shields existing, it limits the amount of games you can use Escanor in. I'll elaborate further at the end of the video. Let's go into the third act of Shining Castle. 1.1 million damage by the way, and he is losing to shields. And he's still lost. Monarch doesn't make him viable. It is unnecessary. We are going to the Attack on Titan X stage. You will see. Look at that damage. Too bad it will have no use soon. Here comes the Attack Titan. Now look at his damage. Wait for it. 3 more seconds. You saw that. He healed all of Escanor's damage. When an enemy is armored, they take less damage the less units are placed. Which is why this did no damage. Even though it's supposed to do 1.6 million. Unbelievable. Escanor, no matter the trait, can't solo this stage. Just do 2 armored because it counters him. It is unnecessary. My next point. Traitless modifiers. Let's go into this legend stage. You see Monarch Escanor? It's not there. Because this stage is traitless. The best part is, traitless Escanor can solo this already. So you don't even need Monarch. On to the next reason. Escanor can do anything Monarch Escanor can do. Look here, the third legend stage of Land of the Gods. I hope you didn't miss that. Escanor one-shot the boss. Now look at my solar Escanor. See how they both completed the stage with no effort? And I didn't even use Escanor's nuke. Monarch Escanor is unnecessary. Let me show you a little diagram I made. I have to do something first. Let's start with this line here. See it? This line is what you want to hit. This is the damage line. If you go under it, you don't do enough damage, and that's not good at all. Let's use these 2 dots. This one represents Escanor traitless. This one represents Monarch Escanor. Now I'm gonna try to graph their damage. Emphasis on try. See? Escanor meets the threshold perfectly. Just enough to AFK with him alone. If I mark it like this, and then mark the waves, we can see that Escanor scales with the waves. as he was meant to do solo. But let's talk about Monarch Escanor. Look, his meter goes through the frame. Wanna know why? It's because his damage already is so high. Off placement. Everything past this might be good for wave 30 games, which you would be correct. That's mostly boss rush though, and traitless Escanor can do the same also. Now both Escanor are really good, but if both regular and stronger Escanor still countered by the same things, that being armored enemies because of the single placement, shielded enemies because he hits 1 to 3 times, and regen enemies because he attacks slow. Oh, and traitless modifiers, obviously. Monarch Escanor has just an unnecessary amount of damage because they are still limited by the same counters. There's another way to make Escanor better, other than using traits. The Summer Hem Familiar. It literally is meant for Escanor. You can use elemental shards, so it lands on fire damage. Place Escanor off to the side. Wait for the enemies to reach the end. Now there should be 1 stock left. Let's take a look at Escanor's passives. Once Escanor hits 12 R stocks, he does 2% of his damage in burn every for 5 seconds. Now imagine that 2% was 22%. That would be pretty good, right? Now the last passive. His attacks deal 30% burn damage. Instead it does 50%. And 100% when an enemy leaves his range. That goes up to 120% damage. Let me show you. Look at the damage when he enters his range. The burn did over 100k damage, which is around 50% of his damage. See? Non-Monarch Escanor isn't that bad. Now I want to clear up some things. I understand there are other ways where Monarch Escanor can be used. The reason why I said don't get Monarch on Escanor is because the anniversary update is coming out. And there will be better units that will come out. And non-Monarch Escanor can still solo stages, especially if you get Z+ stats, a good trait, and the Summer Hem Familiar. The silly diagram I made was to show you that Monarch Escanor has unnecessary damage. I understand it's easier to macro stages with the Monarch version, and at the end of the day, it's up to personal preference. I believe he gets countered too easily. Vanguards is a strategy game where your entire team works together to win. And if your strategy is 1 unit, that would work for certain stages, but not all. Thank you so much for watching. This took so long to make. Thank you for the support. Also, if you want to draw my avatar for me, to replace the ones I have, send it to my email. It's linked in my YouTube bio, but I'll put it in the description. If I choose someone, I'll give them Robux on Pulse Donate. I'll make a post on that soon. Have a nice day, everyone.